There we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yo, 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 what up, everybody? Welcome to the Brooks and Banks Show.
The show where everything matters and
Nothing matters, baby.
that's right.
That's right.
This episode, Fires and Aliens.
That's right, baby.
This is an easy one to pick.
Yeah, it really was.
Before we get into that, though, please follow us on our social media platforms. You can follow me for the martial arts content at Kung Fu Brooks, not Umbrella. At Kung Fu Brooks.
Easy.
For the martial arts stuff. You can also follow us at the Brooks and Banks Show, and you can follow this young man right here at OptiMystic Banks.
That's right, baby.
That's right, and we've been working on a bunch of content, like Patreon content, and putting together platforms for our respective disciplines.
Yeah.
But in the midst of all that, we also were thinking of things that we could do to just be more involved with the community. We planned a free little get-together meditation Tai Chi class at the park on the lake. Went really well. It was a really good time.
Yeah.
Nice little small intimate turnout. Like we advertised it like last minute, just kind of threw it out there that we were doing it. And it was a really cool intimate connection with the people who came. Really enjoyed it.
It's really nice, yeah.
And then a couple days later, the fires happened.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, we're both professionally, our day jobs are in the fire emergency response, as far as like emergency cleanup and boarding up people's properties and stuff like that. When it's not natural disasters, just regular fires, as well as rebuilds and build backs. And then this whole situation happened, and it's been absolutely unprecedented. That's the only word.
Even the owner of our company has been doing it for like almost 20 years. Was like, we've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, he worked a lot in the Woolsey fire.
Yeah.
7 years ago. Anything you wanted to speak on it? Just what you've seen and experienced, what your takeaway from it has been?
There's a lot that we could talk about, but I just wanted to touch on how, like, you were really feeling it. You were doing a lot of the outbound stuff to talk to these people on that first day when the fire, before it got really crazy. Yeah. And you were really feeling the energy before it really came. Like, you were feeling really empathetic for these people, almost in a way where, I mean, again, it was before it got crazy, but I was kind of like, it's okay, bro. Like, fires happen. And you were like, nah, this is like really bad. And you like had like a...
Do you remember it started with the cloud?
It started with fog.
So there was a fog that came in.
The day before the fires even started.
There's all sorts of people who are talking about like conspiracies about it and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But so the fog came in, but that morning there was this huge cluster of clouds. And one of our coworkers was like, "Oh, look, this cloud looks like a dragon." And I was like, "It actually looks like a kirin, which comes from the Chinese kirin, which is I think kilin, which I think they might pronounce it chilin. Anyway, like that's how they pronounce it.
Kirin.
My great
but it's like a dragon dog type of thing.
Like antlers usually.
Okay.
And like it usually has something to do with like change.
It's an omen.
And like omen of like a great leader or someone coming like that, or
sure.
And some people were like, when I was showing it to, were like, oh, Trump, and like, all this stuff. But anyway, and then boom, fire started happening. Okay, it's windy. Okay, I'm using all these emergency response notification services that are out there, and I'm seeing the reports that are coming in. And I'm just like, oh, dang, oh, man. And I just started feeling like really bad before I was even talking to people. I felt really bad just because of like, there's a whole like mobile home complex out in the Palisades.
Well, yeah,
people
I mean, like you were seeing it, but you were feeling it more. Yeah. I felt like it was more of a psychic thing you were tapping into. And just the fact that, we are still in the year of the dragon, which in Chinese zodiac, and fire and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really intense, and we just, everybody's in our thoughts and in our manifestations and in our prayers and our meditation hours, and we just want everybody to be okay, and it's crazy, and everybody has a lot of questions right now. And just, I'm reminded of the phoenix, which is my spirit animal. I got it tattooed on my arm here, and just that, from chaos is born order, from order is born chaos, and it's this expanding and contracting cyclical part of life, and we really, it's in Greek mythology, Gaia, who's like the mother goddess, is born from her father was chaos. So every good thing will lead to a bad thing. Every bad thing will lead to a good thing.
There's a few things that I want to speak on and touch on, just like that I want to just put out there to maybe somebody who's watching this who is not around this area, what I experienced. We live in the San Fernando Valley. So we live basically right in the eye of the storm as far as like it didn't hit us. The fire didn't hit us. We're right it's surrounding us.
Yeah.
So there's fires surrounding us. So luckily, it's not that bad for us, the conditions here. It has been like smoky, but we're kind of lucky that we're in this valley that we're in because it's kind of protecting us in a strange way for now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the winds before the day of these fires, unprecedented. And I've been in hurricanes on the East Coast. We've been in tornadoes in the Midwest.
Yeah.
This was it really almost knocked me down a couple of times, and I was scared. Like, it was so fast that if a sign flew by or something like that, it would have killed me.
When we were sitting in my car, it like felt like I was driving. It was just like moving, and I was like, "Whoa, this is kind of crazy." And I said to you that morning before the fires, I was like, "It's the winds of change."
Yeah, it was real. Mm-hmm. Regardless of what anyone thinks, the actual physical events of the winds happening were unprecedented. Mm-hmm. Mix that with fires that happen all the time here, regardless of how they're started or why. But we do have a homeless problem here with people starting fires. It is what it is, especially in the winter. But there's fires that just happen all the time. Los Angeles is a very brushy
city.
Yeah. There are a lot of hillsides that are very dry and brushy. And it is easy for brush fires to happen here. It's not a conspiracy.
We are in a desert that we have terraformed. Yes. Essentially.
And these communities that got hit really hard are also places that just happened to have been built 60 years ago when there was annual rainfall. I'm not saying that there's a climate like a warming going on or anything, but there has been a climate change that has happened here, which is neither here nor there. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. And insurance companies in our line of work, we have been seeing them back out
for the last few years,
but they've been backing out for a long time because they know that these conditions get like this. These are the Santa Ana winds that are an ideal condition for fires to start in. And I just want to put that out there for people to understand that if people just didn't understand like how this could have happened.
Right.
And then the water situation, I'm not an expert, but I don't think there's any city in the world that would have had the water supply to handle the fires.
Yeah, and I just it's just as far as like conspiracies or all that kind of stuff. Like
it's just everywhere, man.
It's just like fires happen here every single year,
every day,
and like the big wildfires happen here every year,
especially around the time.
And they've been saying for a long time, all it's going to take is 1 year with the right wind hitting in the right direction, and all of LA is going to go up.
Yeah.
So considering that, I mean, we actually did pretty good, I think.
I do too, and. Man, the death toll's at like 25 now.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, well, luckily it looks like so far like it's all being handled pretty good. It's terrible these people are losing their houses, but like if that's all that's being lost, thank God. But now we're getting more reports of like that's happening. And I mean, you look at the videos of some of these hailstorms and you see how people, I was thinking like, how are these people getting caught? How are they getting stuck? What are they?
It's 100-mile-an-hour winds with flames,
fire,
with 50-foot flames.
It's a tornado of fire.
It's insane.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like it's so.
And
sad.
no one deserves it. And we're praying for everybody. And just if anybody.
And if you're looking for ways to help, like yes, there are ways that you can donate. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do to help. But like really
Send the energy.
yeah.
Send your energy. Send, happy thoughts.
There's enough people here that have stepped up to help. The people that like are in these lines of work already, the food vendors, the construction people,
yeah.
it's like people don't get it. Also, people are thinking that everyone's being opportunistic. It's like they're literally not. Like literally all these construction companies, people don't realize it, but like there's very little of them that are like, oh yeah, we'll come and we'll do the work and like pay us. You got to pay us up front. What's up? How much am I getting out of this? What? It's more like construction companies are showing up, doing the work, figuring out who's got to be billed for it on the back end.
Yeah.
It's going to take so long.
Yeah.
Like hardly any construction companies are going to get paid
for like 2 to 5 years, probably.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, like some people might pay out of pocket a few $1,000s here and there to do some like cleanings and stuff like that.
But anything that's to go through insurance or anything like that, it's gonna be a long time.
But people, let's stop being so pessimistic and so conspiracy driven. Like, really, these were just some terrible, like, regardless of how or why, whatever, like, we don't need to keep going to the root and finding the who shot the poison arrow for every single thing that happens. A lot of us can just, like,
I do also think that it is healthy in a way.
It's a question.
Yeah, to question. No, I mean, like, look, I mean, for real, like, anybody can do whatever they want with their time, honestly. I don't care. But just giving our 2 cents of what we've seen, I am not going to say that there's no conspiracy involved in it because I do not know. So I don't want to talk down on anybody. It's just, at the end of the day, let's talk about self. It's not very healthy if you find yourself always going down conspiracy rabbit holes, because again, that's like a dopamine chase. I found it. And trust me, I know I've been there. And it feels amazing. And many conspiracy theories have been proven to be true, like most of them. So I'm not even trying to like go there with that. But just from our perspective, boots on the ground, actual people here. At the end of the day, let's just let's send our happy thoughts and our prayers and our good energy. And if there's something in the government that bothers you, then get involved in the government.
Yeah. Straight up. That's so true.
With that also being said, before this happened, I had a trip planned with a couple of buddies of mine, my 2 best mystical buddies. And we had this trip planned to go up to Joshua Tree and do a little vision quest. And it just happened to fall on the Saturday of the fires, like the day after the fire started. So it was kind of like a nice escape as well. And we had some visitors from the skies.
Conspiracy?
See what I'm saying? So yeah, it was pretty intense.
Why would you plan this trip?
But I did want to talk a little bit about my experience and just, we went up there and definitely had some psychedelics.
Did you say where you went?
Joshua Tree. Yeah. Definitely did some psychedelics with some people that I really trust. And
you got to throw up the pictures and the photos.
Yeah, I'll put up some pictures because right when everything started kicking in, my buddy Sean was like, y'all got to come out here. I found one. And my buddy Sean is like, he's connected to the ETs for sure. Everywhere I go, we can be in the middle of Hollywood and we'll see UFOs like around,
Every time you tell me that, I'm always like, okay.
Have you gone with him yet?
No.
Oh, no wonder.
But you brought back video this time.
Yeah, I brought back video this time. Exactly.
Yes,
so
certified.
So Sean was like, y'all need to come out here. I found one. And we went out there and sure enough, in the distance, there was a glowing orb changing shape. It was going like, and getting like bigger and smaller and changing colors and
almost
changing lights.
football kind of.
Yeah. And we were talking a lot about like.
It's a drone, bro.
Whatever
it's
it is.
It's a drone with a,
Well, yeah. So we were just talking more about like, the spiritual consciousness aspect of it. And you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Wow. They've been happening since the beginning of recorded time. It's been in art. It's been in poetry.
I was
it's
telling
been
you
in
that the light orb has been somehow, like you said, it's been in everything.
Yeah, and we're not just talking like UFO as far as like
No.
flying saucer.
No,
We're talking
no.
like orb.
I'm literally like some sort of like globe.
Yeah, round.
Luminous,
luminous.
Magical, maybe.
I
sometimes gemstone.
Can't even really call it an object because it's
okay. The Japanese of the mythical ball, the anus.
Yeah.
With the dragon with the pearl.
Yeah.
Literally looking at it.
I know, right? It's been in many paintings and things like that from old antiquity. Also, cave paintings, things like this. It's been talked about in records. I think Christopher Columbus had a sighting of one when he was coming here across the ocean blue. But there's a lot of different things that it could be. And for me, what I notice with these things, and this is also Dr. Stephen Greer, who does the CE5 stuff, which is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which is basically a human-initiated contact. He talks a lot about how it's a love consciousness thing that happens. It's a love and peace, and as soon as they feel that you are no longer in that vibration, they seem to disappear. And that actually happened to us when we were watching this UFO. And I'm filming it, and we're peeking on shrooms and other things, and we're just like, we're seeing it, and all three of us at the same time said, "I love you, buddy," and it just went vroom, vroom. And then my friend Sean got a phone call from his friend, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm out with my buddies and we're tripping and we're looking at a UFO," and it's still there and it's doing its thing. And as soon as his friend started talking about the fire getting closer and closer to the valley, and his friend was like, "What the fuck is going on out there?" And then Sean goes, "Wait, what? It's in Sherman Oaks?" So as soon as Sean brought his awareness away from the UFO, whoop, it disappeared. So it was all of us were in this love consciousness thing, kind of just communicating with it and just feeling the love with it, and it showed itself to us. And as soon as the consciousness kind of had a break and shift of awareness, it decided to disappear. And I've seen this also with Stephen Greer's documentaries and stuff, that when they get these groups of people together and they go out and they meditate and call upon these UFOs, that it does, sometimes they get fired upon by our weapons, missiles and things like that, or sometimes planes will fly, a fighter jet will go by it and they'll disappear. And they talk a lot about how you can feel the love almost disappearing when they, So, my personal opinion is that there's countless alien races, whether they're extraterrestrial, interdimensional, living within Earth, outside. There's so many different things. And it does appear that most of them want what's best for us in a strange way. And definitely these orb things are more angelic feeling than flying saucers, essentially. And I think a lot of the flying saucers are probably us, reverse engineering and just doing so what we can.
There's so much stuff coming out about light maybe being some sort of source of a lot of things, maybe being aware.
Yes. Well, yeah. So, but here's the thing, is that quantum physics is pointing to the fact that the universe, existence, let's say, is
showcased through light.
No. I'm saying existence, which light is a part of, is a self-aware intelligence, right? That we're all this one thing. It's spirit, mystics have been saying that forever, right? Spiritualists have been saying that forever. And what points to that is something called the double slit experiment. So the double slit experiment on a basic level in quantum physics is when they take particles and they shoot them basically through these two slits.
Right.
And when that happens, there's a certain pattern that shows up on a wall that they put behind it. Mm-hmm. And so as they shoot these particles through there, they behave like a particle, and they can tell it behaves like a particle by the way it shows up on the backboard. But when they turn off the instrument that observes this, it behaves like a wave.
So that's how they were able to discover the whole...
So, because the background on the board will behave like wave interference patterns, right? It's kind of ripples on water, right? And particles, it's right? So you get different patterns that show up on this wall. And so it appears that the particles of quanta are conscious of you as the observer.
That's so crazy. I've heard this and talked about this so many times, but for the first time, it's like
It's clicking.
it's clicking that like.
So what I'm saying is that
I guess I never really understood how they were able
How
to
they
come
were
up-
to tell,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and that's like so basic.
yeah,
It's
and
like
how I'm saying it is very
the
basic.
way you're explaining it, like
Yeah.
I
Right. So what this is saying is that it appears that each level of quanta, the smallest pieces of anything that we can find, and the wave that they come from, because so waves in quantum science are basically like the state that everything that is matter is in. It's both a wave and a particle at the same time. That's what the math has always pointed to. It's very strange.
Right, yeah, I know.
So when they did this double slit experiment and it like proved it, that they are both a wave and a particle, but it depends on if they're being observed or not.
Oh my God, that really comes back to the simulation thing.
Exactly, right?
It comes, oh man.
But that's why I always say this is more of a self-simulation, right? Because everyone's the one, right? So it's like, so it appears that every particle of quanta, every wave is not only self-aware and intelligent in itself, but that what it's basically saying is that how we look at things determines what they are. Do you see what I'm saying? Like perspective-wise. Now, time
mix that with light.
That's what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
So light is intelligent. Yeah.
Times light, times atmosphere, times gravity, times senses, times,
And then, connecting that back into like meditation and stuff like that, like, going into the inner worlds to connect to what they believe in quantum physics is like the base reality where everything is connected. All places, every speck of time and space is connected to every other one.
Yeah.
And that's not just me as a whole human, but every cell in my body and every quanta within that, every nucleus, everyone goes deeper and deeper and deeper. They can't find the end of anything because there's no end to us. We're all connected to everything, And so now connecting that back to the UFO thing is that, like my buddy Sean and Matt were saying to me, is that, I noticed that like this microphone appears to be looking at me. The wall appears to be looking at me. The side of this Buddha statue appears to be it's looking at me in a strange way. Even though it doesn't have eyeballs looking at me, it seems to like no matter how I turn, everything's kind of facing me in a weird way. And I was like, obviously everything's conscious of me. And I'm like projecting this.
Did you give them consciousness because of
So here's what Matt and Sean both at the same time said. Every bit of quanta is not only projecting, but they're also recording at the same time. And that's how.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's karma.
It's this constant
world karma.
in and out. It's all in and out.
It's so
and that's consciousness.
And so here's what's so wild about that is because we were talking about this earlier. You were talking to me about that and you sent me that video. And then last night I'm randomly watching stuff on YouTube and I came across a video that was like a Buddha's view of the origin of the human race. I was like, oh, this should be good because I've just been reading and talking about so much about how Buddha would tell people like, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not here to talk about that.
Yeah.
And when he would, this is basically like some of the stuff that it said that he said, that the universe is made up of expanding and contracting forces, including our Earth and our atmosphere and other planets and dimensions and states of being. And that when at certain points during the expansions, when we're expanding, and you can think of we as our physical world, our atmosphere, our solar system, our consciousness, our dimensional stuff, when it's crossing with other things of the same
frequency,
of those same groups of things that I just said, that's when they'll have sightings of things like extraterrestrial beings or like devas or gods or like different names for these things
in a way that like
supernatural.
Earth is expanding and contracting, its atmosphere is expanding and contracting, its dimension is expanding and contracting, and
even if it's something we can't physically like see,
and there are overlapping worlds, let's say dimensions, universes that are doing that at the same time. and when if it's timed in a way to where those two intersect is when we experience more of those mystical, extraterrestrial, unexplainable, magical things.
It then went on to say that in the beginning, before there were animals and humans, there were luminous beings of light that were like pure, like radiant, like
Pure consciousness in a way.
yeah. And like basically when I was seeing this and hearing this, I instantly in my head was thinking of these orb UFO sighting type things, where that's almost what they seem like. They seem like this angelic floating consciousness.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a mechanical nuts and bolts thing when we're talking about the orb style things. Yeah, and even the Merkaba shaped ones and some of those. Yeah, and what that makes me think of too, well, maybe you want to share just kind of like that you came to that epiphany of like, holy shit, like we, as a consciousness, me as a human being, I'm probably headed for that.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, guys.
I have a very strong.
I mean, no. I mean, I don't know like what's going on, and I'm not.
You're open.
I'm not scared. I'm not trying to find the answers either.
But it's trippy when it starts clicking.
But it's like,
yeah, and then you know how I think of it is that like there's this we're all every level of quanta and me as my own universe and you as your own universe, a human being, right? Like we're all on this cyclical figure 8 journey of returning to source, right? And it's like as soon as we get there, whoop, we're already out of it type of a thing, but we're always there also, right? And it's like whether we're going up, let's say trajectory up to becoming, you know, angelic, higher dimensional light beings, eventually God, source, right? Or whether we're going down to more dense to plants and animals and either way, you're heading in the same direction essentially, right? But like when you start realizing that like not only are these magical, spiritual, interdimensional light angels, whatever you want to call them, not only are they real, but like they're a part of us and we're a part of them. They're different versions of us. And it's like once that sparks in your head that you're like, holy shit, maybe it's not just that I just die and come back or die and go to heaven, or maybe. And it's not for everybody because anybody can have whatever they want after death. People can have. You're going to create your own universe. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, but maybe the next level is becoming one of those blue gods that you see in the Vedas and stuff like that.
You remember the movie Contact?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember how like he's like, oh, I'm like presenting myself to you like in the form of like your father, so it's easily more Okay. Yeah. Ever thought about this? Like, if you were a higher dimensional awareness or being or whatever, you'd literally like, what if you'd be like, oh, okay, this is what the people there like and want. They like shiny, sparkly, good feeling looking, like orb type like stuff. So I'm like gonna present myself to that. As that. And I can't really think of anything bad that these things would be, man-made or not. Well, I guess man-made to like a ruse, like you know, like, oh look, we're all good.
Yeah,
we're all,
yeah.
But man, it's like almost in the videos, like the feelings that people get when they're seeing it. Everyone's just like, woo, what is that?
It's a different
like,
feeling when you're seeing like the mechanical UFOs versus seeing the orbs and the Merkaba kind of stuff, and like, I think that. You know, there's so much disinformation. That's how they handle this. That's how they're handling this subject. When you're dumping 90% BS on top of 10% of truth, it's hard to find that 10% of truth. But there is somebody that I follow, this guy on Gaia named his name's Tim, and he's a tactical advisor for German analysts for like ETs and stuff. And he talks about a being that he has had contact with that he calls Being 6. And that it appears to him as kind of like a crystalline blue, very crisp light. But that to other people it may appear as like a blue humanoid, and other people might appear as like, you know what I'm saying? So like they can, whether it's holographic or it's just, you know, a lot of people believe that human beings are kind of like under an illusion on this planet, and that, I mean, it's basically true. I mean, whether you believe, I don't believe that like we're a prison planet or anything like that, what some people believe, but like, yeah, we're living in, this is an illusion. And that these higher dimensional consciousnesses that are like pure consciousness, that they can appear in our illusion in any way that makes sense to us, basically, you know? And then speaking on more of the blue stuff, sorry, just wanted to touch on one more thing, because during my vision quest, I saw my buddy Matt as every one of his past lives, like combined and phasing in between. And it was like so profound. And, you know, ecstasy, mushrooms, DMT, and yeah, it was real. And it was so nice. Honestly, it was so nice. But I saw him phase between young, old, male, female, witch, warlock, blue, reptilian, and like every and it was like phasing in and out, and it was like almost, oh, I saw him as a Native American too, and it was all like almost like superimposed on who he really was in this body, and they were kind of like phasing him. It wasn't scary at all, but it was very trippy, and I was just like, whoa. This feels like phasing through, like he's working through some shit. But like, you know, I'm seeing it from my consciousness, my perspective. So maybe it's me working through it actually. But anyway, I didn't tell him that's what I was seeing. And then right after that, he goes over to Sean, and I hear Sean say to him, "You've been on this earth for many lifetimes, and you're working through a lot of shit right now, brother." He goes, you've been doing so much work, and I'm so proud of you, and you're just working through it all right now, and I see it, brother. And I don't know if Sean saw exactly what I saw or what it was, but it's very amazing, and we were all very connected, and it was it was a great time, man.
Yeah, man, like 2025 is going to be a good, I mean, this is our first podcast in 2025.
That's right, baby.
Dude, that's what's up. Yay! But it's going to be a good year, man. It's going to be a year for us to just like, you know, not even in regards to the fire, but it's just like new beginnings. And,
yeah. Let me share a vision I had with you too, totally sober. This morning I was meditating and I had a vision, and it was the feeling that I had was like big change, moving, big glass windows, like bright open spaces, good feeling, old people, new people, working, doing stuff for a purpose. And like, I know that this is a message for me, but anytime I'm channeling this message, and you're hearing it, it's for you too. Yeah. So I'm really feeling this as a great new year. It's the year of the snake coming too. Dude. All about transformation, Kundalini awakening, big stuff coming for 2025, and I'm feeling very optimistic.
That's right, baby. Well, hope you guys enjoyed.
That's right.
Lots of big stuff coming up for us, and I hope for you guys as well, because we all need each other right now. Yeah. And you know, something that I want to do this year a lot more is I want to support people a lot more. Yeah, I want to support, like, just, you know, stop buying like the cheap big brand stuff, and like more support like local artists and everything, like the clothing, the stuff in my home. Yeah, not so much plastic, you know, crap.
We all got obsessed with like synthesizing and like easy and quick, and I think that Mother Earth is over that, and I think that we should be over it too.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for tonight.
We love y'all.
Love checking in with you guys. Love y'all. Drop something in the comments if you got something that you want us to talk about in the next episode, or just to check in.
This shirt on our website, honestexpression.org, along with many other designs of ours. That's right. We love you. This is the Brooks and Banks Show, the show where everything matters and
nothing matters.
That's right, baby. We love y'all. Be good. Peace.
Peace and love, y'all.
Come on, big dog. This is the Toro. Come on, big boy. We got a little bullfight here.
Love him, just love him. He's a little guy.
Yeah.
Love you, buddy.
Love me.
That's all it is love.
We love you, dog. We love you, homie.
He's straight moving. Look at him. he's got a pretty low. He's almost like he's on patrol or something. That could be a military drone. There's a lot of military drones out here. Believe you me, they know we're right here. 100%. We're picked up on their frequencies. We come near that space. I go to the giant rock, bro. The military comes out in force.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking do, bro. They show up on the fucking fields out there. They fucking just do random drive-bys. It's fucking trippy as fuck. They landed a drone with me and Alex. I asked Alex about this shit. Me and Alex were out there one night, and we had some very transformative experiences in sleep. And Alex woke me up at like 2 in the morning and said, Sean. It's fucking coming for us, bro. It's coming for us. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? What the fuck you talking about? What do you mean, bro? He said, no, bro. It's coming down out of the sky. And I'm like, what? So I fucking get up, right? And I look out the fucking little tent. We're in this like TP tent. And this fucking thing, dude, was like that thing right there. It was landing. This thing landed in the field beside us, me and Alex. It landed and you could see it transform into something. I swear to God. It was like, by this light right here, you could see it doing something on the fucking ground because it had lights on it and it was doing something. And then this motherfucker, bro, it started moving toward us.
Wow.
And then I fucking said, you know what? I'm going to shine the big light on it. I took out my giant fucking, like I have a hugely light. I should have brought that light. Next time. Better planning. We got to do this again. Better planning. But I took that fucking light out, bro, and then bam.
We never spent this late together before. That's why we haven't seen it.
I think it disappeared.
But you showed this to you before, right?
Oh yeah, several times. The first time
No, I still got it.
And the time was
It's very
at
faint.
my house.
How do you know that all these things are just what that is?
Well,
Just
they'll
different
tell
versions.
you. They'll tell you. You just tell.
Well, what if they're just there? They're meant to just be in place. They're stabilized versions of it.
Well, it's like, I don't know. It's like they're waiting for you to tune into them. Ultimately, because that's what they respond to. For me, the most is the. Oh, there's the call.
Dude, what is it?
Yo.
Oh, there you go, you little ginger.
Oh, I'm out in the middle of the desert right now, man. Tripping with my homeboys.
In the middle of the desert? Where?
Yes, we're
Dude,
just
Matt,
fucking
come look at
chilling
this.
out here, dog. I didn't even know the
Look at it
fucking
like
phone ring right here.
changing.
Holy
It's
shit.
like changing
I took the
colors.
phone and I walked out here to like
Like
let's
green
just
and red.
feel.
You see it like blinking different colors?
I've seen these things before.
Dude, it's phasing different colors, dude. It's so sick.
I know, man. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Dude, it's over by Encino, the 405, Ventura Boulevard, Sherman Oaks.
What?
Dude, is everything like fucking, like
Oh, it's gone.
status over
It's
there?
Well,
gone.
you know, this is
just disappeared.
This is the wipeout plan, Bulldog. The powers that
Like
be
right when we
did
started
it
talking
to
about that whole-
Maui, did it to North Carolina.